Welcome back to the show, everybody. I am Joe Concha, along with Rick Unger, Jennifer Crumpton, and Heather Hansen, who are nicely color coordinated tonight. Former Florida Governor Jeb Bush made a move to distance himself from his brother, President George W. Bush, as well as his father, George H.W. Bush, obviously a former president as well, last week during a speech in Chicago where the likely Republican candidate said this.
Look, just for the record, one more time, I love my brother. I love my dad. I actually love my mother as well. I hope that's okay. And I admire their service to the nation and the difficult decisions that they had to make. But I'm my own man, and my views are shaped by my own thinking and my own experiences. Each president learns from those who came before, their principles, their adjustments. One thing we know is this: every president inherits a changing world and changing circumstances.
Governor Bush went on to say that there were mistakes made in Iraq under his brother's administration. Rick, can Jeb separate himself from the bad branding that comes with being a Bush?
Well, first of all, I'm not convinced the branding's that bad. Even I am a fan of his father. I voted for him. How do you like that? The only Republican I ever voted for.
You didn't vote for Reagan, but you voted for George H.W. Bush?
Yes.
That's remarkable.
I think he was a great realist.
You didn't vote for Eisenhower?
So, very funny.
Oh, no, Rick.
So, you see, you threw me out there.
Sorry. Go ahead, sir.
So I don't think the branding problem is as bad as people think. I think we even have fonder memories of his brother at this point. That said, he said exactly what I would have written for him to say. He doesn't look very convincing, however, where he's saying it, which is a little weird. His biggest problem, though, is on the day he made this speech, he also published the list of his Foreign Policy Advisory Committee. It was everybody from his father and his brother's administration, including Paul Wolfowitz, and I don't know what he's thinking there.
But in some part, don't you think that if he didn't use those resources, I would have a problem with that? When you have this brain trust,
do you really want a guy who was fired or had to resign from the World Bank for a scandal?
There are some on that
list.
There are some on that
Jim
list.
Baker's on the list. He's fine.
There are some on that list that you're going to like, and there are some on that list that you're not going to like. But the truth is, if he didn't go to those places, I would have a problem with that. When you have all these resources available to you and you choose not to
use them. But when Obama did it, you guys got crazy about him hiring people from Clinton.
He didn't listen to
His
them.
brother was criticized a lot for relying too heavily on so many of those people. So, you know, this is kind of an Olivia Pope moment where he's getting out in front of the elephant in the room.
Explain to our audience.
Yeah, that's your
Scandal. We're talking about Scandal.
Kerry Washington.
You know, she's the ultimate PR guru. He's getting out in front of what he knows is the big elephant in the room that's going to keep people from voting for him. He wasn't all that strong in his speech, but I think if he continues to keep putting the same people on the roster, there's going to be questions. You can't say one thing out one side of your mouth, I am my own man, and then we know that he's going to be relying on the same people over and over again.
You know what bothered me about when he was making that particular statement, and obviously it's the most important thing for him to overcome, let's face it, because he had a good record in Florida. A lot of people like his stance on immigration and education and so on, and obviously he's much more articulate than his dad or his father was, at least publicly anyway. What bothered me was flipping of the page when he's making what's supposed to be passionate, I am my own man.
So he better learn to use a teleprompter.
Yeah, use a teleprompter or let it be organic, but
man.
Right, kinda.
I think there were so many talking points in today's speech that were awesome. I think he did a great job at sort of talking about Hillary by talking about I'm not going to be one to press the reset button. I thought that was great. I thought it was great when he talked about this isn't hashtag diplomacy. I thought that was wonderful as well. And I thought his foreign policy conversation was really, really good. When it comes to the team that he's put around him, I do worry about bringing on younger people. You know, he brought on that chief technology guy who then had to resign. Right. I think he resigned, but you know, because he had to. But I think that's going to be the concern. It's great to surround yourself with old, smart men, but you also need young, exciting, energetic women.
Like George P. Bush.
Jeb's problem is he's not a good politician. Luckily for him, neither is Hillary. Neither of them, they might both be very competent leaders, but neither of them are particularly good at politics.
I wonder if, from a media perspective, just being selfish, if a Bush-Clinton matchup would be best for lack of a better terms, ratings and entertainment. Because they're not, as you said, they're not very good candidates.
They're
They
gonna
are
make
not
mistakes.
very
Yeah.
sexy,
Well,
right?
she's going to have no vetting. I mean, if somebody doesn't come up and really run
she'll
against
be
her.
vetted.
Well, Huckabee's at the
She'll
head of
be
the
vetted.
polls right now for the GOP, which he always kind of edges up around this time. But I would like to see a little Huckabee in the mix.
You have to
personally.
admit,
You would.
Hillary's
Running
had a
against
lifetime
Hillary.
of being vetted.
Right, but she's going
That
to
will
be
never
she's going to be stale. There's not she won't have gone through
that
it.
could be.
That she won't have gone through
That
it. But
could be.
I
I think
she's
people
going to
don't
want
wanna
to see Clinton Bush.
Hillary's going to be at a new level of authenticity, though. I think she's taken this time and she's really thought through why she wants to run for president. I think that's going to come through.
I don't know if that'll solve her problem.
No, but, you know, she better hope so because she's going to be coming into it against somebody who has really had a tough primary.
But
No
look
matter
at,
what.
look
No
at
matter
her
what we do.
photo. She's cultivating the Golda Meir look.
Well, there you go. Here's all you need to know, everybody, that for the 28 of the last 36 years, we've had a Bush or a Clinton in the White House in some capacity.
Right.
And if they end up running up against each other, then, oh boy, talk about repetition. Anyway, coming up next, it's political potluck time. This is the Daily Wrap only on Newsmax TV.